Critics of Gareth Southgate's tenure as manager of England have not been fair to Southgate as a coach. He has had an impactful tenure and he was a successful coach for the national team. Hello and welcome. Let's discuss football with me, Adekonye Opelua Samu. There are some questions that we must ask ourselves about the tenure of Gareth Southgate as manager of England. Before him, how many finals did England get to in major tournaments? The World Cup, the Euros, and the UEFA Nations League. Southgate is the first manager to take England to the final of Euros, and he did it twice. England have only won the World Cup and that was in 1966. In fact, despite parading stars like Lampard, Gerrard and Scholes in the early 2000s, they failed to make it to the semi-finals of any major tournament. Then comes Gareth Southgate as manager, and in 2018, he took them to the semi-final of the World Cup with Harry Kane emerging as the top scorer of the World Cup. Then in 2021, Southgate takes them to their first ever final at an European tournament, that's Euros, where they lost to Italy via penalty shootout. Then in 2024, he repeats the same feat, getting them to the final of Euros, and some critics then say this manager was a failure. He was not a good coach because of his conservative approach. Well, conservative approach, you say. If a manager plays with conservative approach, how come Harry Kane, for example, emerged as top scorer at the 2018 World Cup? How did that same Harry Kane in 2024 also emerge as top scorer at the 2024 Euros? I think the lovers of the English national team have some soul searching to do. Despite parading stars that play in the Premier League, England are not the best country. England is not the best country in the world. You may have players like Foden, Bellingham, Harry Kane, Declan Rice, Saka, Palmer and the likes. They are not the best footballers in the world. Most of them are system players that deliver in the Premier League, and that is because the Premier League is a league that allows fast players to deliver. They just shoot from outside the box if you are good. If you watch England, their best players, they score goals from outside the box. They don't have the right technicality in football. They are their play style is pass, run and shoot. All the greats that play for England, their best technique is outside the box shooting. So when you give a manager like Southgate the job to do, or when you gather all these players together, it becomes a problem. How do you play? What system of play can you apply and that will give you the best result? We must acknowledge and note the fact that Southgate's job was one of the most difficult jobs in the world. You don't have technical players. You have players that play similar pattern like Palmer, Saka and Foden. They play similar pattern and you want all of them to start. That is very, very difficult to do. These guys are players that only know how to run and shoot. They barely know the technicalities of the game, and when a manager takes them to the final of a tournament, you must appreciate that manager. Fair enough, he could have started Palmer on one or two occasions, but the two occasions he brought on Palmer, he got the job out of him. An assist in the semi-final and a goal in the final. The only criticism I'm going to direct at Southgate is, why did Phil Foden start all 7 matches in that tournament? That is the only criticism that I will accept as fair and just. But when you look at life from the perspective of there can only be one winner in a major tournament, will you say that Spain were not deserving winners of the Euro 2024 tournament because you are abusing England? No, the Spanish team were clearly the best team in the tournament, if not the world. So if England loses to Spain, I think it's a thing of pride for the national team. I think overall, looking at the successes he achieved at the World Cup and at the Euros, Southgate has been a great manager for the national team. Do you agree with me, or do you think his tenure was a total failure? Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know your views. Thank you.